Hi guys, and welcome to today's show. We've got a very exciting episode of Wristwatch Talk. We've got the first IWC has landed, the Eagle has landed, and also we're going to be discussing one of my favorite watches of all time, of course, the SKX, the legacy that is the SKX. Anyway, I'll just quickly show you the IWC. This is the Gerald Gentra designed Engineer. Beautiful, I'm not sure if it's focusing. There we go. Beautiful 40mm size, absolutely stunning. This has been very generously lent into the show by a friend and viewer. I'm going to be getting into this in just a second, but first of all I wanted to discuss the legacy that is the SKX. Now, I should do a wristwatch check. I'm wearing blue, so I put on my blue Navi timer. There it is, absolutely gorgeous. And I'm enjoying it on a grey aviator Coloreb strap. If you want to find out more, have a look back at my strap videos. I reviewed this quite in detail from Coloreb, which, as you guys know, is probably my favorite luxury Italian strap makers, and you can order them worldwide. Absolutely fantastic value. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the SKX. Now, as you guys know, I recommend this watch a hell of a lot. A lot of you have bought this watch on my recommendation. I get emails every day, believe me, every single day, thanking me, saying they love their SKX. It's just testament to how good it is. So today I thought I'd put together my top 5 personal reasons why I love the Seiko SKX. Now, quick shout out to my good friend Grobnob, the Right Honourable Grobnob, who is my co-host during the live shows, and he's a massive SKX fan. He owns one too, and I asked him for his input, so he put his list down. So I've kind of compiled the list, and also it was his idea, so thank you very much. Now, of course, there's tons more to love about the SKX, so if you have your own, please share them down in the comments below. But I thought we'll start at number 5. It's affordability, the cost. It really is the people's watch. I mean, in terms of what you get for the money, very little out there can compete. Of course, there's other great watches at that price range, but really, for what you're getting in terms of performance, reliability, its features, its cult iconic status, there really isn't anything that beats its value. I mean, for $200, sometimes even less, you're getting a real icon that's going to last you a lifetime. Not very many watches can do that. It even beats. I think its value ratio is probably one of the greatest of all times. Really has to be said. So number 5 is definitely its value. Best bang per buck watch ever, probably. Yeah, safe to say ever. I mean, you know, if you really know your SKXs, you will understand why, because this thing, it's a real dive watch. Anyway, that goes into another point, which we'll get into in just a second. Okay, so number 4, it's a true cult iconic watch with decades of heritage. I mean, this thing has been going since 1965. Of course, it borrows from other iconic dive watches. All ideas are not really original. They're always recycling ideas. However, it's got its own unique look. You know, that crown at 4 o'clock, the tsunami wave, that famous iconic Japanese art, these curved lugs, that inner bezel. There's nothing else really quite like it apart from other Seikos. You know, so it's a unique design that has decades of heritage to it. Very difficult to find watches at that price range that have as much heritage and lineage and there's such a cult icon. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 3, it's been known to go without service for as long as 25 years. 25 years. Grobnob can attest to this. He's had his for 13. I've had countless SKXs come and go. I've decided to settle on this one now because simply, it's just got to be a staple in my collection. But they are robust as hell. You know, they could take a beating, and it's why I recommend it as your first watch, as your first automatic watch, especially if you're younger. You know, you don't have to worry about it. It can take a beating. You can go diving. You can do anything. And at the end of the day, it's a great everyday watch. You got that day-date complication, so it's really useful for day-to-day. There really isn't that many watches out there that you can say that about, that have, you know, been known to go for that long without a service. And I think goes back into point number 5, tremendous value for money. Realistically, probably only service it once in a lifetime. Not that many watches can do that. And it's a testament to its reliable, robust design that is just so indicative of the SKX. Okay, so that was my number 3. What is my number 2? Well, it's simple. Collectors and famous people wear it, and this kind of maintains its cult iconic status. You know, I see so many collectors, you know, that have high-end stuff, and then they have an SKX in there. I see this all the time. Not only that, celebrities, you got Robert Redford in all his Lost wearing it. It's become very kind of iconic cinematically. You got real life icons like Storming Norman, General Schwarzkopf. He wore one famously. He'd wear one on one wrist and a Rolex President on the other, so he could keep multiple time zones. It's made it even more desirable. In fact, I even spotted one in the very last episode of the latest season of House of Cards. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but the SWAT team members were raiding a building, and one of the SWAT team guys had an SKX on a NATO strap, and you could tell because it had that crown at 4 o'clock, and it was just, as soon as I saw it, SKX, you know. So it's got a following, you know, with celebrities, with real life heroic icons. Just adds to its cool factors. Not very many $200 watches can boast that, you know. So again, absolutely unbeatable, and certainly has kind of sealed it. It's made it kind of mythic status that just makes it so cool and desirable. Okay, so that was number 2. What is my number 1? Well, it's got to be performance. At the end of the day, the SKX does exactly what it says on the tin. ISO 6425 certified. It's a real diving watch. Enthusiasts, military divers, saturation divers, recreational divers all depend on this watch and use this watch all the time. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Yeah, it's cool that celebrities wear it. Yeah, it's got decades of design and it's affordable, but at the end of the day, what is most crucial actually works in the environment it was designed for, and that's just unbeatable. For $200, again, we go back to my 5th point, value for money. What other watches can boast that? It's not just diver in style, it's a diver in execution. Not only that, it's got one of the best looms. I mean, the loom is better than on my Rolex Submariner, which costs a fortune. And if you regulate one, I mean, they're pretty accurate. I mean, yeah, of course, it's not going to be chronometer certified, but if you regulate one, if you have it regulated, they can be deadly accurate. It's all about performance. It's all about delivering the goods, and the SKX does that. Again, not very many $200 watches can boast that, and that just seals the deal. You can place all the other facts about it in any order you want. Number 1 has got to be performance. Got to respect it. Love it, loathe it, you've got to respect it. So that is my top 5. I'd really like to hear your opinions, any I missed out. Of course, you know, I could have done a top 10. We could have done a top 20. Me and Grobnob, we came up with, I think, between 20 and 30 things that we just love about it. So I kind of compiled it into 5. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your opinions? Users, owners of the SKX, please comment down below. I'd really like to hear your favorite aspects of the watch. Even if it's, you know, simple things like the crown guards or the curve of the lug or simple things like that. Really like to hear what makes it so special to you. I mean, I haven't even gone into the modding aspect of it, which is another video I'm going to be doing very, very soon. Progress on the Urban Gentry SKX, or rather lack of it. I will be following up with a video on that very, very soon. Anyway guys, let's move on. I'll put my notes to the side. Let's move on to the next subject, which of course, actually I'm going to put on the white glove because I think just helps with the focus of the watch and gives a bit of background. And now I've got to say a massive thank you to Alwyn for sending this in and showing amazing trust and faith in the channel. Now he's actually he's got a very impressive collection. He's also got, I think, a Planet Ocean, the new Omega Seamaster 300, quite a few Omegas. I forget which ones, but he's going to be sending a lot more watches in. He's selling off his collection. He's got a huge collection. He's thinking about selling this particular one and some of his Omegas. So he thought before he sells them, he'll send them to me and I can review them. I can enjoy them, share them with you guys, and if anybody out there is interested in purchasing this IWC or his watches that he's going to be sending in, please email me. I'll forward your details to my good friend Alwyn. So let's have a little closer look. I'm going to come a bit closer. It's going to be upside down for you, but as you can see, absolutely gorgeous. Very typical of that Gerard Gentre design. Those of you unfamiliar with Gerard Gentre, he was a Swiss designer that's behind some of the most iconic watches, the AP, Royal Oak, several of the Pateks, I forget, but a few of the Bulgari watches, and of course the Engineer line from IWC. So this is quite an interesting watch because not only has it got that Gerard Gentre design, it's got a Faraday anti-magnetic cage in it. So it's really built for purpose. It's something a little bit different from IWC. You know, when you think of IWC, you think of Fliegers and aviation watches. It's got quite a exquisite dial with beautiful little rose gold applied markers. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a very kind of porthole look to the bezel, very typical of Gerard Gentre. It's in a 40mm size. I'm going to be doing the full review very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. I've got to say, when he said he was going to send this, you know, it's not the IWC I'd choose, but, you know, I'm not going to turn him down. And I've got to say, I've rarely taken to it. It's very elegant, something totally different to what I would choose. And I like that, you know, sometimes it's good to try something completely different. We're going to be featuring a lot of IWCs on the show. It's a brand that I've been meaning to cover. The patrons have selected the Frank Underwood IWC, which is the Portuguese, I think it is. So entirely different from this one, but it's just fantastic that I have access to these kind of watches now, and very excited to see Alwyn's new Omegas as well. But I gotta say, this is incredibly elegant. I mean, have a look at those lugs, that beautiful beveled edges. It's incredibly well made. I love those very modern lugs, very well designed piece, absolutely stunning. I'm not big into the white dials, but this is converting me, it really is. Being a 40mm, it wears very, very well for me. I'm a little bit scared now. Am I going to have to buy an IWC? Am I going to have to buy this off Alwyn? Yeah, I totally do not have the money. I think this is about 5 or 6 grand, something like that. But despite its cost, it is actually probably the most affordable way to get a Gerard Gentre design. It has got an ETA inside, but of course it's one of the highest grade ones they have, and you know, IWC have obviously put a lot of effort into it because it feels incredibly refined when you wind it. My first impressions are I'm very impressed. The quality, the finishing there is absolutely impeccable. I mean, you feel it instantly. You feel this is a real luxury watch. Very well put together. The finishing on it is absolutely gorgeous, and it's in very, very good condition. I asked Alwyn why he's selling it. He hasn't really given a reason, but I presume he hasn't really worn it that much, you know. It certainly would look good in my collection. I would never in a million years consider this, but now actually trying it on. Two great watches we've discussed today. I mean, I love them both, but two absolutely fantastic watches we have discussed today. This will be the thumbnail. How about that? Yeah, we'll do it like this. Hello! Have you ever noticed that really successful videos, they have people doing stupid faces with their mouths open? They're always like... I'm not gonna Yeah, I'll stop. I'm being silly, but look at those hands. Look at those hands. Come on, focus, mate, focus. Come on, look at those hands. Absolutely gorgeous. Kind of semi-skeletized. Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. Oh my God, am I lusting after an IWC?
So, cheer me up, babe.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Huh? Zappuccino.
I'll take the Michael Jackson one glove off. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Please let me know what you think. Very exciting. A lot of new watches coming in. We've got several megas on their way. IWC, the first of a couple of IWC. We're going to be looking at Panerai, hopefully. So much. I'm very, very excited. And of course, don't worry. We've always got we've got more Seikos, Citizens, Bulovas. You know, sky's the limit. We can get any watch we want now. So sky's the limit. Very, very exciting stuff. So stay tuned for the full review of that. Please don't forget to add your favorite aspects of the SKX below. Questions, queries, thoughts, opinions, all the rest of it, please, down in the comments. I always love hearing what you have to say. Also, most importantly, give this a like if you enjoyed it and found it useful. It really, really does help me. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.